No artist of the day today. We're doing all songs about food and thanks. This is Thank You from Sly and the Family Stone. You get it, Steve?
I get it. Very appropriate, Paulie.
Thank you, because it's Thanksgiving. I worked hours on this list.
All right, let's kick off hour number 2 as we bring in a regular guest on our show. We have him on a few times every year to talk all things Wake Forest athletics. The voice of the Demon Deacon, Stan Cotten, joining us on the show. How are you today, Stan?
I'm great. What's up, fellas? How we doing?
We're doing good. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving here.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not much is going on around here this week. Either just a coaching change with the football program and bowl eligibility on the line, and
2 losses in Maui. Nothing to worry about.
Nothing going on around here.
The sky's falling.
Well, I think Wake in all sports just about is like 0 for November. So that's just part of the deal, I guess. I don't know.
I guess so. Well, I mean, John Wildhack pointed to the month of November as a big reason why Dino Babers is no longer the head football coach here. I guess let's start there. I heard Dave Clawson's press conference from this week, and, Dave's always been, he always has a way with words. He always gives thoughtful answers, and I thought he gave a very thoughtful answer about Dino being let go. And he said, people say, well, he's got this big buyout and he'll be fine. And he said, no coach ever wants that buyout. I guess, can you speak to the coaching fraternity a little bit, Stan, and how Dave and Dino have become friends over the years, and nobody likes to see another coach lose their job.
No, not at all. And I think those of us who don't make millions of dollars every year are kind of intoxicated, maybe, if you will, by all the the numbers that these coaches get, the buyouts and all this kind of stuff. The Jimbo Fisher thing is crazy, money like that most folks can't even dream of. But I mean, these guys coach, and guys that have been around like Coach Babers and Coach Clawson, they were coaching when coaches weren't making a fortune, and certainly when they started coaching as assistants, they weren't making much money at all, and so they coach because they love to do it. It kind of gets in your bloodstream, and you can't get it out, and that's why these guys. I mean, come on, I know the kind of work ethic that Coach Clawson has. I mean, it's hours and hours and hours and hours a day, like his entire staff. I don't put in those kind of hours. I love what I do, but these guys love what they do too. They're not doing it for the money. They really aren't. Now, Coach Clawson will turn around and in the same breath tell you he's very blessed. He makes a lot of money, but that's not why he got into coaching. It's not why he does it. And certainly he's, he and Coach Babers over the years have become friends. They certainly respect one another. I mean, Coach Babers followed Dave at Bowling Green. As a matter of fact, Coach Clawson was talking about the fact that yesterday, when they hired Coach Babers really quickly after Coach Clawson left and came to Wake, and so he had to turn around and leave Winston, go right back to Bowling Green in a hurry to clear out his office, and that's when he met Dino for the first time, kind of crossing paths there, and then since that point they've gotten much closer and respect one another. So it's you don't want to go out that way. Coaches want to go out winning and retiring. They don't want to go out, getting told to leave and, being given a check. That's not how they want to do it.
You look at this Wake Forest team, Stan, and, it's a program that had been to 7 straight bowl games and had been 500 or better in 7 straight years, and they're not going to be 500 or better this year. They're 4-7 right now, and they're closing out the regular season here inside the Dome on Saturday. What's been the biggest issue this year for this team that has resulted in, a little bit of a step back?
Well, they've certainly not gotten the production at quarterback like they have in the last several years. And that's going, even ahead of Sam Hartman, who's now the quarterback in Notre Dame, as we all know. But that's been an issue. They've started 3 different players there. They've not gotten the push, pardon me, guys, that I don't think they anticipated, on the offensive front. And then they lost a bunch of guys on defense, although defense has been a pretty bright spot for this team. But they're playing a lot of guys that didn't play last year. and that that just takes a while. So, and again, sorry, I got something in my throat, but I think it's probably started at quarterback, and some other things just have not developed. And you play a tough schedule; those things can happen. I mean, it's just been one of those years where a lot of things have not gone Wake's way, and they'll try to close things out with a solid performance on Saturday, but it's certainly not going to be easy playing on the road and playing in the Dome.
Yeah, what are you expecting to see in the Dome? Because we've seen the last couple of weeks that Syracuse has had to reshape its entire offense. They've got a starting quarterback at Garrett Schrader who clearly cannot throw the football with whatever injury he's dealing with. Carlos Del Rio Wilson, their backup, got hurt and he's been out, and so they've had to revamp this offense to the point where they've got a tight end and a running back, just taking kind of alternating, wildcat snaps, and so I would imagine it's difficult to prepare for. I mean, you've been looking at this Syracuse team the last couple of weeks. What are you expecting to see? What do you how do you think Wake approaches this going into kind of a unique situation?
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's crazy getting ready, trying to prepare to call the game, because you don't know who's going to be behind center. You don't know if it's going to be a tight end or a running back or a true quarterback, and so it's the same way for the coaches. And Dave Clawson addressed that yesterday. It's like, how do you prepare? You just prepare for everything, and that divides your practice time up a little bit. So if for whatever reason Schrader's healthy and can be the guy at quarterback, well, you haven't really focused on him as much as you would have during the week, because you're thinking about Valari. I think that's how you say his name, the tight end,
yep,
or other people back there. So it's crazy, but it just kind of fits the crazy year and the craziness that is college football right now, I think.
In getting ready for this game, I mean, like you said, you heard from Coach Cotten or Coach Clawson, rather, and I'm sure you've talked to some of the players. What is the buy-in among the players right now, Stan, in terms of, listen, they're 4-7. They've gone on this losing streak to close out the year. Their lone win since September was over Pittsburgh. So it's a disappointing year for these guys. What is the buy-in and the motivation, I guess, going into this regular season finale?
It's a good question, and I think it's weird. You go out on practice a couple days ago, and I promise you, if you walk out on the field, you can't tell how many games this team has won or lost. A lot of guys are playing now that weren't playing last year, and they just enjoy playing. Justice Ellison, one of the running backs, was talking about, and he's played for a while, but he was talking about some of the younger players, and they just enjoy and are enjoying the opportunity to play. And no, they're not happy about their record at 4-7, but they enjoy playing football. That's what they do. They're football players. So they're still enjoying it. They're still enjoying the process of working at it, being coached, trying to get better, and facing another challenge every Saturday. And there is that deal about, if Wake could win the game and get to 5-7, a decent chance they could get to a bowl game, because of how crazy the bowl system's gotten now. And so they're like, look, that's kind of a carrot out there for us. If we can find a way to win on the road against Syracuse, got a decent chance of getting the opportunity of play another game. And so that's enough, I think, motivation for at least a good number of these Wake players, and maybe that will be what gets them over the hump on Saturday. Who knows?
And I guess along those lines, what do you think this game comes down to inside the Dome on Saturday?
For Wake, probably can't turn it over. Be a better team in the red zone. If you get that deep, get a touchdown. Don't settle for a field goal. And Wake's missed 4 field goals in a row. I mean, they used to be Wake over the years. It's just been automatic, but missed 3 straight and then got the 4th one blocked. So that's not even been a given. But take advantage of every opportunity you get. Don't give it to Syracuse, and see if that's enough. Wake hadn't been scoring a ton of points, and so I think they've got to, score more than 17 points to win. It's a tough deal. The equation's not one that's clearly on the board for them. How are they going to add things up to get a win. I don't know, but I do know this. Again, they're still a good group to be around. They play hard, and I think the fans in the Dome will see that. They'll see a Wake team that'll play very, very hard. Doesn't mean it's going to be a mistake-free team, but they will play hard for 40 minutes and, for rather 60 minutes and see if that's enough. We'll see. I don't know.
Stan, I want to move over to basketball really quick. Our next opponent will be somebody you guys just played in LSU. Maybe you give us a quick little scouting report on what you saw at LSU.
Well, I had to miss the LSU game for being in Notre Dame, but watched a good chunk of parts of it. Wake right now has really got some depth issues. You've got a really good three-point shooter from last year, Davari Monsanto, who's still not back from an injury. Matthew Marsh, 7-footer, had a great last year, was one of the highest percentage shooters in the country. I mean, a lot of his field goals were dunks. He's in concussion protocol. I'm not sure, when he's going to be back. They're waiting on a transfer, Efton Reed from Gonzaga, 7-footer, who can shoot the three and dominate inside. If they get him, along with Monsanto and Marsh back, Wake could be pretty good. It really could. But if the Reed double transfer is denied, that'll certainly affect Wake. But right now, Wake's kind of battling. They're 2-3 through 5 games. They're battling with a lack of depth, and just trying to get through to, January, when hopefully the cavalry will come and they'll be okay.
Stan, thanks for your time. And you got a new assistant coach on your basketball team, one of our favorites, in Demetrius Nichols. So be sure to say hi to him for us.
We'll do that. He's already much loved down here and helping Wake greatly. So we'll see you guys soon.
All right, Stan, be well. Thanks for coming on. Stan Cotten, the voice of Wake Forest. And with that, we will take a timeout. 315-437-70.